Today is the 9-month anniversary of the Hamas attack, and it's being called a day of disturbance by this protest movement, which is what the families of hostages have morphed into because they're persuaded that the Israeli government is not doing everything it can to get their loved ones home. The Palestinians have not defined who was killed in this attack. They've just issued this large, frightening number. And what the Israeli army has said is that they attacked the school because it was harboring terrorists. It, too, has not yet identified who was killed. Were these armed militants? Were these families who were sheltering there? We don't know. At the moment, it's kind of a tit-for-tat fight over the very nature of the building, with the Hamas representatives saying, you know, it's a school and should be untouchable, and Israel retorting, it's a school that was being used as a safe space for armed Hamas militants.
Noga, in other news developments, we are looking at this deal. There's a breakthrough, we have been told, that heightens the hope of a Gaza ceasefire. And of course, also developments in the hostage negotiations. What's the latest on this ceasefire deal?
The latest is really, I have to tell you, this sort of heart-wrenching reality that's taking place today in streets and in highways up and down Israel, in which you have family members or friends of these hostages, or simply citizens who feel that they can't take it anymore. Today is the 9-month anniversary of the Hamas attack, and it's being called a day of disturbance by this protest movement, which is what the families of hostages have morphed into because they're persuaded that the Israeli government is not doing everything it can to get their loved ones home. Now, none of them certainly have any illusions about Hamas's interests here, but they say that they, as Israeli citizens, can only turn to their own government to do everything possible. And you have, on the other hand, today was a cabinet meeting. In Israel, Sunday's the first day of the work week. There was a cabinet meeting. And what we're hearing just in the last few minutes is that there was an absolute screaming blow-up between the prime minister and the defense minister, in which Benjamin Netanyahu accused his defense minister of trying to overthrow the government. So that should give you an indication of how testy and how nervous Netanyahu is faced with this very difficult decision he will have to make, because accepting and even moving forward on this plan, which is likely to end the war in Gaza, may lose him his hard-right coalition members and may see him have to leave power after eventual elections.
Noga, we've also been hearing about the Lebanese armed group Hezbollah launching over 200 rockets and attack drones into northern Israel. It was in response to the killing of one of its senior commanders. Is that also a front where we have to worry about a larger eruption of conflict between Israel and Hezbollah in Lebanon?
Without question, that should be a worry for everyone. Hezbollah, about 2 days ago, Hezbollah issued a statement saying that if a ceasefire agreement is signed between Hamas and Israel, that it would cease its fire against Israel in the first minute. But I think we have to understand Hezbollah as basically an armed proxy of Iran that is also the principal sponsor of Hamas, and that's why they're working in concert and have the same interest. I'm saying this simply because to say that it's a Lebanese movement kind of puts the Lebanese people, I would say, as a trigger,
yes,
in a way that they certainly don't want to be. And, you know, Lebanese are, I'm being conservative here, but feel very ambivalent about this militia, which is so well armed from abroad and has taken over the south of their country.